Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Shamika and this is Check the Rhymes. Y'all, I know some of y'all are true crime lovers, right? Well, today this is the show for you. From the producers of the shocking docuseries, The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, there are 6 new cases that are stranger than fiction. Now, the show is already underway, so there's only a couple more episodes left of the season. But you can always go back and watch it and binge and do whatever you do. But legal analyst Beth Karas is here to shed some insight on each of these gripping stories and IDs. The Curious Case of ... Sounds so ominous, right? So new episodes of The Curious Case of air on Mondays at 10 o'clock on the ID channel. Episodes are available to stream on Max, so you can, like I said, go binge. So stick around. You don't want to miss this conversation with Beth to talk about what's coming up for the rest of the season and more. Stay tuned.
Hi, Shanika.
Hi, Beth. Welcome to Check the Rhymes. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So what can audiences expect from the remainder of the season of The Curious Case of?
2 more episodes, 2 more twisted, compelling stories. One is about a woman named Jody Hildebrandt in Utah, who was a therapist, Mormon therapist, recommended by the church to help families who were having problems, marriage counseling, basically. But she did anything but bring the couples together. She divided them. And then it goes really dark when she develops a relationship with a popular mommy vlogger named Ruby Franke, and it all devolved into child abuse and some really bad stuff. So we sort of look at the story. It's Ruby Franke, but it's Jody Hildebrandt's story. Like, how did this happen? How did this come about? And then the final episode in The Curious Case of, which will air in 2 weeks, on Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central, on Investigation Discovery, is a 2-hour show, not an hour, and it's about Cheryl Ruthven. We call it the cat cult, doomsday cat cult. This is a self-proclaimed preacher who has quite a following of people. They're now in the Tennessee, Kentucky area, but they started in the Pacific Northwest. And she believes that cats are the vessel, basically, to the afterlife. And she tells her followers they have to basically adopt all these cats, bring in all these homeless cats from the shelters and take care of the cats. And if you have to make a decision between feeding your child or your cat, the cat comes first, basically.
Wow.
So it's that story, which is not a widely told story.
Wow, because I've had a recent incident with a cat this week. I was like, I feel like it attacked me, and now this has spooked me out a little bit. But this is so interesting. How do you guys find these cases?
Well, there's a team with the production company, Hot Snakes Media, that is always scouring for these stories, and we all look for them and screen them and see what kind of access we can get to people. And sometimes there might be a podcast out there that's a good podcast, and that's what happened with the cat cult. May not have a huge following, so we can take it to another level. So, we're just always, looking. I talk to lawyer friends about cases they have. It's just, they're out there.
Okay. So as a legal analyst, what fascinates you the most about these cases that blend like some crime, some manipulation, some extreme belief systems?
So I am fascinated by human behavior, right? And I covered trials for years, for 19 years at Court TV. And that's the same formula, a trial, right? I mean,
yeah.
You create opening statements and put on the evidence, closing arguments. But every case was different. I mean, there's no greater drama than what unfolds in courtrooms across the country every year, every day. I mean, lives are changed. So I find human behavior, why people do these things, what motivated them to do this, very fascinating. Also, I find it interesting in some of the cases that we do, in Curious Case of, same with The Curious Case of Natalia Grace, is we don't know what the truth is. We don't know who to believe.
Right.
Like, everybody bit off, So it's getting to the truth, or it's like, why did they do that? That would be like the funeral story. But with Mary Day, it's like, well, what is the truth? These are in Mary episode 2. The funeral home story was episode 4 of The Curious Case of. So it's a combination of those.
Okay. And I work with a lot of journalism students, and so they're always interested in how do I get to do this? How do I get to do that? What advice would you have for them if they want to take the legal analyst route or be on a show like just like this, do something exactly like you're doing?
So you need to have some credibility if you're going to be a legal analyst. I'm a lawyer, right? And I practiced law for 8 years. So you get a law degree, but you
Right.
go into journalism. I know people who have done that. I know
Mhm.
people with JDs, a Juris Doctor, never practiced law a day in their lives, and they're successful in the reporting journalism field. Alternatively, you can take like a 1-year course. Some law schools like Yale offers one, and it's basically 1 year of law for journalists.
Mhm.
So you can also, I mean, that gives you a type of degree.
Right.
Or you can just pound the pavement, go to court, cover the cases, learn the lingo, talk to lawyers, and just be a good reporter covering it over and over. You'll get there, but you have to build up some credibility. I don't want to hear legal analysis from somebody who's 25 years old and not a lawyer, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're going to make mistakes. But if that person has been doing it for 25 years, they
Mhm.
know what they're talking about. Plenty of journalists become good crime reporters. They're not legal analysts, but they're crime reporters.
Right.
Or just, you don't have to be a lawyer for that.
Oh, that's great advice. Thank you so much. So, our last question for true crime fans, where can they check out more about the Curious Case of?
Well, the next 2 episodes are premiering Monday and a week later on Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on Investigation Discovery. They stream on Max after that.
Thank you so much, Beth. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for joining me today on Check the Rhymes, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.
You too. It was my pleasure, Shanika.